Why these 3 rules are so important for you to understand, particularly right now in the market, is that we're, of course, not at the levels most of us are expecting to go to, meaning we have time, meaning we can make tweaks and changes right now to ensure we actually walk away with some money in the market. As you will note, the freaky statistic with crypto is that about 98% of people make no money, or at best, £500 each. That's not much. That is not much considering the market of crypto is renowned for making people multimillionaires like that. So ask yourself, why do most people fail? Why do only 2% of the people in this market actually make any sort of decent sum of money? And why is it that most of you listening to this video right now will choose to ignore one or all of these 3 rules and end up scratching your head in the next 24 months wondering, why did it all go wrong? Well, I'm going to make sure that those of you who pay attention today actually walk away with information and changes that will allow you to make this kind of money. Pay close attention, guys. This is the next 10, 15 minutes I guarantee you don't want to miss, especially right now. Now, of course, before we kick things off, if you find yourself at all enjoying today's video, or you can take away one or multiple of these rules and actually apply it, that's the goal, right? Is to actually enable you to somehow, shape or form be better off after this video, then I want you to drop a like down below. That would really mean a lot. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button, because that is the way in which you will achieve all your crypto goals this bull run. Now, the goal today is to keep this video quite short, sharp, and simple, primarily because I've been receiving feedback recently. A lot of you like the shorter 10, 15-ish minute videos. No one, I get it, likes to watch a whole entire movie. So if you do find yourself wanting me to expand on one or multiple of these points, I want you to very simply, at that moment, go down below and just comment which rule you want me to expand on, and I will literally make a video on this in the next week, okay? I want to make content ideas around portfolio optimization and helping you at a time when we're pretty much moving sideways in the market. Now, this goes out the window once the bull run starts taking off for the most part. Now, once that happens, we can talk altcoins, we can talk which ones to do this and that, but I think right now, while we have this opportunity, it's very important to always be looking at your portfolios and, of course, altcoins and what you can mix, match, and change to optimize your end result. It all happens right now. Doesn't happen typically towards the end of the bull run. You have to plan for it now, as you will soon see. Now, the first tip, number 1, is please ensure you have a plan. Now, I get it, right? How broad is that? A plan, really? Okay, what I mean by a plan here is to just ensure you have an end goal in terms of how much money you want to make and how much money you've started with. Even if you've already been investing in crypto since the dawn of time, it doesn't matter. What I mean by this is, again, get a pen, get a paper, actually write it down. You guys will be surprised how much information you can pull out of yourself in a quiet room with no phone and a pen and paper. Or also go to the private community, first link down below, I believe it is. Join up, level 1 and above. You can have access to this portfolio exit tracker with a whole bunch of awesome stuff you won't find anywhere else, and just complete your goals. When you complete your goals in this tracker, you will actually pretty much calculate from here how many multiples you need based on how much money you've put in and what coins you've bought. It all stems from, again, goals. And this is what I'm sort of saying with the pen and paper. If you know you need to make X million dollars or $100,000 to achieve a deposit on a new house, a new car, and a new engagement ring, or whatever it is, right? You need to materialize that, because once you eventually hit those goals, you're taking your money and running. There's no point in you risking more money. That is what you've came for, but you don't know when to stop unless you have a goal. Very simple. Also, the additional effect that this actually has is it allows you to pick the coins you actually need. If you're someone who's put in $1,000 and you want to make $100,000, that means you want 100x, guess what? You can't be picking Near Protocol, you can't pick Ondo, you can't pick all the big buzzwords and the big coins everyone talks about, particularly myself right now. You have to go find those micro caps, you have to go full degen. At that point, you got to ask yourself, is the risk in finding those coins for the end goal worth it? Or should you bring your end goal down, or should you invest more? Typically, I wouldn't invest more than you're willing to lose, so I'd bring my end goal down to be much more realistic. Maybe to keep the wife happy, it's just a new engagement ring. And in saying that, this will move into another point later on, but make sure if you do decide to buy an altcoin that fits into your ROI expectations, and what I mean by that is if you're investing, again, $1,000 to get $100,000, make sure you look for a coin that can easily 100x, more likely do a lot more than that, okay? We're not looking to actually find a coin that can barely reach our target. Like, you wouldn't buy Near Protocol right now to look for a 20 or a 30x. That's pretty crazy. It might 20 or 30x from here, who bloody knows, but you're not looking to risk it all for that chance to come, okay? You want to actually guarantee money and sell when there is a lot of buyers. We'll talk more about that in just a moment here. So the next most important tip you must do on the bull run, I can't stress it enough, is focusing on your exit levels, particularly that major exit level you're focusing on, in which you might have some sell levels higher and lower to, of course, average out that level you're looking for. Why this is so important is going back to what I was just saying. Most people in crypto fail to think of the end goal. Again, crypto breeds this kind of degeneracy where we're all focused on the money we're making now. And by the way, it's all paper money. You might brag to friends and family, oh, I've got $100,000, I've 100x my portfolio, have a look at this. But it actually isn't materialized until you hit the sell button, until you have those static. And if you haven't prepared for this right now, and I'm guaranteeing you right now, you're going to let that greed kick in. And once prices start ticking up, your lizard brain is going to think to yourself, oh my God, well, Render's at $30 right now. Okay, well, maybe I can move up my sell levels a little bit higher because Render's looking pretty good. Okay, no. Do it now when the prices are much more realistic and your brain isn't in the greed mode. It's more like kind of naturally in the fear mode, even though it should be the other way around, really, right? And so what you're going to look at here is basically selling while the market still thinks that everything's going to 10x. When you have influencers and you have all the different people, friends, family saying to you, hey, Jimmy, I can't wait to make another $100,000 and my portfolio is going to 20x from here. I can't believe it's still going to go up. Now, let's just hold on a second here. I hope you are, first of all, loving the video so far, but before we get into the juicy part, let's just take a quick second here to thank this video's sponsor, Beldex. Now, Beldex is a layer 1 DePIN blockchain with a heavy focus on privacy since it's powered by ZK Snarks and the EVM, so it's in two very, very powerful narratives of the bull run. And it was actually way back in 2018 when the project launched, where it was a pioneer in the privacy space, so it's by no means a one cycle and done altcoin. They've created a scalable ecosystem where privacy meets financial transactions, social applications, and web browsing, so there's no intermediaries, just straight privacy. Beldex uses a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism and is powered by masternodes, which earn BDX as a reward for the operators. The team has recently accomplished a huge achievement by unlocking smart contracts that can be run on a privacy network, which opens up Beldex for developers to come and build dApps on the network, if you ask me, just in time for the bull run. With a bridge from Binance Smart Chain to their layer 1, it's easy for users to move in and out of the network, which is a benefit that other privacy networks just simply can't offer, like Monero. Since privacy is becoming more and more necessary as the world becomes more and more invasive, like we recently saw what happened with Monero being delisted from several exchanges. Fortunately though, Beldex is listed on several tier 1 exchanges, including KuCoin, Gate.io, and MEXC, so it is very accessible. With more exciting developments to still come, Beldex is a privacy coin to keep an eye on for sure. Just check out their wallet app store for more and let me know what you think. Oh, and of course, a big shout out to Beldex for sponsoring today's video. You need to look at things like the banana zone over here, like Raw Paul, and sell basically way down here. Sell when there's still more room. And by the way, doing this isn't bad. You might miss out on an extra 10x. Maybe you do. Maybe you really do. Maybe it's a 2x, whatever it is. But ultimately, you're never going to make a mistake making profit. People will always make mistakes feeling like they can make more profit. You understand what I'm saying here? I can speak from experience in the last cycle. Speak to anyone that lasted more than one cycle that's still here right now. Anyone. And likely they will tell you their first or multiple cycles, they got greedy and they were listening to influencers. They were listening to all the articles. By the way, the articles that are propagated, purchased and propagated, all right, by the whales, by the guys who are looking to make you want to keep buying because someone has to buy when they're trying to sell. Very simple, okay? And this brings me to the next pretty much point here. And that's, of course, again, making sure that you're always in the green zone. Now, of course, I've got the bull run cheat sheet, guys. First link down below in the private community. You have access to so much information in there. I'm pushing people to wake up, all right? No, you won't see this anywhere else. The green zone is where you want to be selling. When the market is like, whoa, we got another 50,000x to go here, the gray zone I've marked here is the in-between the red and green zone, obviously. But the gray zone pretty much is a middle ground where you can probably sell. There should still be a fair chunk of buys. But the red zone on any coin, this is HBAR, for example, it could be for Bitcoin or whatever. The red zone is where there is likely going to be a sellers versus sellers issue, which means especially if you are someone using a non-custodial wallet like MetaMask, Solflare, Phantom, whatever, and you're relying on a micro cap especially to make you money. This is where things can get dangerous because you're going to interact with a pool, right? With a DEX, right? You want to swap your coin for USDT, for example, via a DEX. The magic word slippage comes in because you got to think as of a DEX as like two drums, right? Two drums full of the coins. The minute that you try to buy the other coin, you have to sell this coin. So you're throwing this coin back, the one you're trying to sell, into circulation, which increases it, and then buy this coin, which decreases it. And that has a fluctuation, okay? That has a fluctuation in price. So if it is highly illiquid, again, in the red zone we're talking about here, and that might be unbeknownst to you, being a beginner, you don't know what's happening. You think, oh, this is a good price, I'm just going to sell. What happens is that you end up swapping over a lot less than what you think because those pools are so different. Basically, it has a massive price impact, and that could mean that you end up leaving with an idea of $100,000, maybe $70,000 or $40,000. Like, it can be that severe, especially if you're dealing with a lot of money in a small micro cap. A micro cap that has a few $1 million invested in it, or maybe even tens of millions. If you have, 5-10% of that, maybe even 3%, you're going to really tank the price. Okay, even less than that. So you have to be diligent and think about this now. Okay. Make sure you're setting those sell levels. Again, I've spent a lot of time building this sheet for a reason, guys. It's to help people out. You don't have to pay for it. I'm not making you pay for it. The tool is there for those who want to take this seriously. Having your sell levels in place, I've got all the videos that tell you how to use this basically, and then it gives you very realistic levels. It tells you basically what you're looking at here. And of course, the price prediction sheet's in there as well, 100 plus altcoins. But again, the main important thing is whether you use those tools or not, that you please set these up now while that little lizard brain in the back of your mind, while that little green goblin is not trying to influence you to go higher, okay? Especially on those micro caps, especially on any coin you're holding that you want to interact with a DEX. We actually had a community member reach out to us on the private community, and she actually tried swapping a micro cap for Ondo tokens on a centralized exchange, mind you. And because that micro cap had very little liquidity, when she did the swap itself, what actually ended up happening was she had a really, really poor swap rate, okay? It told her, hey, there's a X amount percent slippage. She might not know what that really meant. And so she thought, oh, okay, this is a pretty good ratio. And she did the swap. And then, of course, the slippage dropped down the amount of tokens she received on Ondo. This is why, again, a rule of thumb, guys, by the way, if you're ever doing a swap like this on a DEX or whatever, always use the most liquid pools. Typically, it's that coin into a stable coin like USDT or USDC. And lastly, this honestly probably isn't the most important out of all of these three, but it is still one I want you to soak up and absorb, please, okay? And this might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but it's not to listen to influencers, particularly at times of mass emotion. So mass fear, mass greed, whatever it might be, other way around, right? And that actually can be said for right now because I've seen a lot of influencers talk openly about how they think altcoins are gone. Altcoins are dead. This is a different bull run entirely. Be careful of buying altcoins. Just buy Bitcoin. And I can understand why you guys sometimes comment underneath my videos saying, well, Kyron, in a video yesterday, you were saying how you were bearish. Now it's a video bullish. You got to understand, it is still important to listen to the videos, because influencers will, again, try to gain your attention based on the market sentiment. That's just how we make our money. Otherwise, we're just doing this, and we can't do this full time, right? We have to go find a job and do maybe a video every other day, right? So we have to kind of invoke that. That's just a part of YouTube, unfortunately. But again, a lot of this stems from just reading the title and the thumbnail. Now, you can make any assumption based on the title and the thumbnail. You can make an assumption based on walking past someone in the street, but until you stop them and ask them a question, they might be the nicest person in the world, or vice versa, okay? So please make sure, if you're looking at these influencer videos, to listen to them, digest what they're saying, and then make that critical thought yourself. Hang on. So X-influencer over here is telling us that Bitcoin's going to go up another $100,000. We're already at $150,000. Well, again, going back to what we were saying earlier on the bull run, how likely is that? It could happen, but it's not going to be something I want to wait out for. So in that case, you might just look to maybe ignore that information, okay? You got to understand, this is a massive echo chamber. It's a massive propagation machine. One influencer says something, a lot of the ones that aren't really very creative will copy that and run with it. Okay, trust me. All right, being in crypto first, I'm a crypto researcher, over 10,000 hours of research. I can see when people just copy another person because they actually just lack the maybe motivation to make the video, maybe the motivation to research themselves, whatever it may be. Okay, so please be careful. I can't stress it enough. Now, if you guys want to just cut through all that and cut through the BS in crypto, you know where to find us. You know where the best place to be is. And you're only going to know until you take the leap and join the private community down below. No one's forcing you to. I just want to make sure that those of you listening to this that actually are like, I want to make this bull run work for me. I want to actually make money. I don't want to be the 98%. Then that's where you got to be. I'm sorry, but you'll find out one day, I guess. Thanks all. Hey, look, at the end of the day, I hope you all make money in this bull run. That's the goal. Statistically, most of us listening to this aren't, but I do wish you all the best of luck. Thanks all. Bye.